So today we're going to go over 3 or 4 simple fundamentals that should be understood and be able to be applied in a gold game, okay? These are very easy fundamentals to understand. But before I begin, I've just been on vacation and I left League in a very bad state. And I came back to League and it's an even worse state. So if something happened, if people's brains are deteriorating, I'm not sure. But I've witnessed some things today that I just need to get out there because I can't fathom the fact that someone that is Diamond 1 doesn't understand these simple concepts, okay? So I'm going to go over them today. So if you are silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and you implement these, you're automatically going to be better than this player here in lane, okay? And you'll be way more enjoyable to play with as opposed to this person here. And in return, you're going to make your teammates' mental way better, but you're also going to perform way better. So, let's get started. We are playing Morgana here, support, right? They're a ranged support. I want you guys to understand that. There are some differences here if you're playing melee or ranged. Anyway, when the lane begins, right, you have a couple of options here. And as I said, Morgana's ranged, I'm ranged, right? Taric is melee, which I'm playing against, and they have Misfortune. So the first thing to take note of here, in most scenarios, if you're playing double range into melee ranged, you are going to win most level 1 trades by default, just because you guys can attack the same person, but they will only have one person able to attack back, right? So in that sense, you will just win, right? Because 2 auto attacks beat 1. Anyway, the first concept I want you guys to understand here, and when I first saw this, I thought this Morgana was maybe first timing or something, because it's such a simple concept to understand. Okay, and this first tip here is only applied to Morgana or some other champions such as Thresh. Okay, because you have a couple of champions, right? You have Nautilus, Thresh, Blitzcrank, Morgana, and other hook champions or engaged champions level 1, right? And some of these will start their Q first, right? Blitzcrank hook, Nautilus hook, Thresh hook, Morgana Q, but there's a downside to this. If you miss it, you have nothing, okay? There's nothing, right? So that's why Thresh, as an example, will start as E instead. Because it's way better early game, the level 1. It helps with a shove if you want to do that. It helps with the damage. And you don't get punished as hard for missing it, right? So the first thing we see here is that Morgana started Q. And that makes me think this person's first timing. Because I've said this before. Start W. W the wave if you want. I don't care, okay? But don't start Q. If you miss it, you are useless, okay? You have auto attack still if you want to use those. That's a good thing. But right, Morgana uses Q here. What can I do? I have to leave now, okay? And this is what people don't understand, right? If you have these abilities, not using them is sometimes better than not using them, okay? And there's lots of champions like this. Blitzcrank, Nautilus, as said before. You have champions, Evelyn, Twitch, right? Evelyn and Twitch applies pressure in the game by not being on the map. Why? Because they have camo. So you don't know where they are. And just by default of that, the enemy has to play more careful, right? So if Morgana starts a Q here, or you're playing this Blitzcrank, as long as he doesn't use the hook, it's always that danger. I have to be somewhere where I can't get hooked, right? But the second you can try this if you want. Lock in Blitzcrank support, go lane level 1, walk to these minions if you want, and then throw your Q, see what happens, right? Most people in gold even are going to capitalize on this. They'll be like, ooh, Blitzcrank doesn't have hook. And then they will just attack you and there's nothing you can do. Right? I just have to concede the lane automatically here. This is just such a pointless Q, okay? Diamond 1, they're not even first timing. They have 60 games Morgana. Okay? So you need to understand, don't do this. It's such a simple fundamental, okay? Don't throw your spouse or your hooks for no reason at all, okay? And just start another ability. And if you waste it, you have to understand the consequences here. And sure, if you want to start Morgana Q, okay, it's a high risk, high reward, right? And the only reason or the place where that might be applicable is if you're going to invade. Then you might skill your Q. But the downside is, if you skill your Q, you give up the level 1 in lane So you make the trade-off of maybe getting the first blood in the cheese invade or something, but you trade your level 1 lane for that, okay? So you have to understand, okay, I start my Q, we'll go for an invade, but at the same time, you have to understand you're giving up lane for that, level 1. Like, look now, I can't do anything. Morgana has no Q. I can't even trust that she'll auto-attack. I just have to walk back, right? So you have to understand, you play a champion that has a skill shot or something, like a hook or whatever. Like, you have to understand what it means to use that and miss it, okay? And even if Morgana hits the Q here, what am I going to do? Auto-attack her once or twice and that's it? So you need to have a game plan, okay? Morgana, Misfortune got a level 1 kill here on the Cillian because he was FK mid lane or something, I don't remember. Right? So what would be way better here? Misfortune already has an item up me. Morgana can start a W. We can shove the wave and we can cheat the recall. Get back to lane and then it's even, right? But now I'm just forced to concede everything. There's nothing I can do at all. Morgana just keeps throwing a Q randomly for no reason at all. Like, even if she lands it, what's gonna happen? I rooted you, Misfortune, lol. You got wrecked. Like, are you playing mind games? Like, it's not gonna do anything at all. It's just the dumbest thing ever. You just never start this, okay? So again, you're playing any champion has some form of CC early game. You have to understand, sometimes it's better to not use it at all. And if you have something else, take that instead. Morgana W way better. W the wave, get instant pressure, or just hold your Q, walk into bushes and just pressure, okay? Like, don't throw it. Like, you see, we lose all the pressure in the lane here because she's throwing it. I can't contest. Like, as an example in the early game here. Let's go back again. When it starts, after the leash here. Right? Morgana can, as an example, walk into this bush here. Taric can't punish her because Taric is melee, right? The only person that can hit Morgana in the bush is Misfortune. If Misfortune hits Morgana, I can hit Misfortune. And if Misfortune hits me, Morgana can hit Misfortune. And again, 2 auto attack speeds 1, right? So we'll always win that. And then if you like commit further, you can like use your Q, but again, just go W. It's so dumb, okay? So you need to understand this fundamental. You need to understand your role in the game. Like, what are you gonna do here? Playing double range into melee range, like, harasses a potential you have. If you have some shove, you can go for a cheater recall, right? You need to understand your options here. And I plan on going over this. But the second fundamental one you guys to understand is if you're going to get tower dive, how to play that, okay? I'm not sure when this happens exactly. Oh, it happens right around here. Let's see. Sorry for that. But yeah, here again, right? We see I'm going to get dove. So the second fundamental one you guys to understand that, I mean, I've gone over like 2 fundamentals already, like your roles in the lane, and then also how what abilities to use and what it means to use them, like how much pressure you give up by using it. Like, Morgana would have more pressure doing nothing, as opposed to throwing a Q and then doing nothing, right? But, second fundamental, if you're getting dove, especially early game, don't leave your tower. Like, if Morgana was with me here, I have exhaust. Like, we might not live this, but at least we would most likely get one person. But if we both run, we are guaranteed dead, okay? There's no escape then. We would have no safety in the tower. Like, we could play on the side here, right? And Morgana attempts to do something, but then she runs. It's just so dumb, okay? And this happens in my next game here, somewhere. And it happens again in this game here. But a fundamental you need to understand, if you're getting dove, don't run. Because once you leave the tower here, and you get far enough back, you're going to have no towers. And then you will die, guaranteed. So the best chance you have here is to stay under the tower, place yourself somewhere in the corner here, so they have to like walk some distance to get away again. Like, you shouldn't fight on the edge of the tower, like fight as close as you can to it. Most preferably into the wall, okay? Because it makes the furthest distance for them to run away again. I'm sure we can find another game here. Oh, yeah, just another free fundamental tip here. I'm just going to go over a few here now because it's crazy, right? If you're playing against Morgana as an example or other AoE champions, you don't want to stack with your support. And this means if you're playing ADC as well, you don't want to stack, right? Because what happens, if one person gets queued by Karma, as an example, I mean, you'll find other examples too, right? Like Seraph, W, Q, etc. But if you stack, and you get hit, you both take damage. But if you're split, sure, Cum will hit the Q, but at least only one you will take the damage, right? I'm sure we'll find it here because I commented on it a bit further. Yeah, I mean, I didn't plan on making this as long as it is now, but it is what it is. But we'll see here, right? I'm walking this way here. Renata has nothing to do here. She can play here. But we want to like spread out, you know, like split the focus. Because if we're stacked, then there's no pressure again, right? We need to diversify and like spread out, put some pressure, whatever. But like stacking, it just makes us too easy to be focused down, right? And we'll see here. We're stacking. Renata has nothing to do here. She can just split, walk away, but she constantly sits on me. For the Guardian proc, I assume. But it's just another one. If you're playing against AoE champions, don't stack. Because if you get hit, both of you will take damage. And my final rant here. Again, we're going to go over the tower dive example. I mean, these aren't games to be taken serious. But again, the fundamentals are to be. I'm not sure when exactly it is. It should be around here somewhere. Yeah. Whatever. Either way, if you're playing against a tower or something, just stack, okay? Don't leave your tower and just try and fight outside of the tower. The tower's there for a reason. They buff the damage for a reason, okay? So, 3 or 4 simple fundamentals here. Understand your role in the lane, what you want to do. Don't throw your spells, because sometimes they have more pressure not being used as opposed to used, because when you've used them, especially level 1, when you have no other tools to use, it's better to play reactive than at least, okay? Third one, tower diving, right? And all these other things. But again, I plan on going into the lane ones and make it shorter. This one ended up being a lot longer. But I do think everything I've said so far has been very informative. So yeah, that's my first video since I'm back from vacation, since I had a mental breakdown the first game I played. So yeah, hope you guys continue to have a good morning, evening, night, whichever one fits shit like that. This has been a Wackaflcka. Don't do this. You are extremely noob if you do it. So yeah, take care. Peace and bye.